You already know what to do. Subscribe, like, put it in the comments, and share the content. This way, we can help the channel grow. If it worked for me, it can work for you.
So that's where they put their brainstorms. That's where, like, if they were to write something down on paper, they take snapshots of it. And then me and my colleague, when I'm home, I just look at it, I place comments. I'll say, hey, rethink this. This looks a little weird. But also, as they're working and creating like digital portfolios and stuff, it's our place for them to store all the links.
Oh, wow.
So it's also a place for me to hold them accountable, right? Because just because you missed last week,
I mean, you can't.
like you had a championship,
right.
You should still be able to work on it, right? Because it's designed for kids to be independent. So some of them know already, like he's finally logging into Book Creator. We have so many different cohorts, like we have 4 cohorts in California. And the idea is, even if you've never met me or you've never sat through a session, you should still be able to effectively complete this assignment.
Well, when I watched the video, I saw the video of Dame sent it to me, and I was just so captivated about some of the things you guys was doing. I was like, you gotta collab with me so other people can see this,
Yeah.
right? Because I think it's great. And sitting down with some of the young men and hearing some of their ideas, it blew me away.
Yeah.
Just in my little 5 minutes, sit down right there. I'm listening to their ideas and what they have and what they're gonna present. Is world changing.
Yeah, and it's a realistic approach. We hear workforce development, but people don't really know how to tie in sports with the real world, right?
Yes.
We know some of these kids are not making pro.
Yeah.
But a lot of the conversations that I have with adults is, if you know that, why aren't you showing them a different path?
Yeah.
You could still play ball up until college, but you'll hold a certification or you have a skill that can land you in a corporate job or another space. So if you play ball, well, you just spent 8 weeks learning about AI and fundamentals and creating an app. You could become an AI data analyst for a sports team, right? So making that connection with them, and then even with our older kids, they take the AI certification exam from Microsoft. So we are Microsoft Global Training Partners. They take the exam and it stays with them forever. So if you decide to get into a corporate space, whether it fits with the AI exam or cybersecurity, because in Texas we do cybersecurity, they're able to get paid 23% more than a person that's just getting into the job or the field.
And I tell kids this all the time. I say, listen, you'll be a professional, but just in a different realm. That's it, because we all, right? We still professionals.
That's it.
Turn pro one way or another.
That's it. You know? And there's so many ways to make money.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
I think our kids are hyped up by the idea of making money, doing something that you love. When you put tech in it, not only are you making money doing something you love, but you're making money and you're having impact. I always see ball as, it's collaborative, it's a team effort, but mentally, you trying to get all that money from NIL, you still trying to rack up, right?
That's
so then it becomes still an individual sport. But when you're learning these skills, you're also applying everything you learn basketball. All of those skills are transferable and you're able to use it in different space. I didn't think that I would have my own company, a global company. I was a teacher for 11 years. But as I was learning how to use tech and literally thinking about what our kids needed, I was like, oh, we could do more.
Meeting the world where it's at.
Meeting the world where it's at, and then taking what I'm learning here and applying it to spaces and communities that don't have access. So we teach kids in Nigeria and Ghana, and we teach students in rural parts of Alaska.
So how long you been?
I've had my business for only 3 years.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah.
That fast.
That technology. You learn a skill.
Well, did you have a background in it?
No, I was a teacher for 11 years. I taught at the high.
Okay.
And
you were a JV coach.
I was a JV boys basketball coach.
Yes.
And I was teaching overage undercredited students, and I relied heavily on technology to help them. I taught kids that were reading at a 3rd grade reading level, some of them. Some of them were just coming home from prison. Some of them had, adult issues.
Right.
And they hated history. And I was like, I'm gonna make you love history. And the reason for it is because every skill that I'm gonna teach you is skills that you can use beyond school, right? Because that's normally, kids be like, oh, I don't even know why I'm learning this. This is boring. And I'm like, it's gonna make sense. Just give me some time. then I began to introduce VR glasses, so kids would be like in the middle of my class shooting weapons, thinking they're in a territory of a war zone. Or I would use game days where kids come in and we prep them for exams through games, whether if it's board games, Jeopardy, digital games, we were doing that. And then I even changed how I did test prep. We would have Sunday brunch. So as I was doing all of those things, and my kids who at one point were getting like 40s and 30s on state exams are pulling out 98s and 95s, I was like, I need to share this with the world. And so I began to share on Twitter, and I was just like, look, for all of you who think that black kids can't learn, this is the method. And the more I use technology, I started to tag those tech companies, like, you created it for this purpose, but I'm using it this way. And eventually I was like, I should get a part-time job. And when I did that, I had so many DMs. And a particular company, Microsoft, was like, we want to give you your own show.
Awesome.
And I was like, hell yeah. And so that show was me just sharing with teachers from around the world how they could be more culturally responsive. I began to practice what I was doing, but scaling it across 6 continents. And then after leaving Microsoft, so I went full-time with Microsoft. I became an assistant principal as well. And then I left Microsoft to work for Samsung America for a short period of time. And I learned I'm not a salesperson. I don't want to sell a product. I don't want to go into schools and say, hey, this is the newest board.
Right.
And so I was just like, I got to do this for myself. And it was me for 2 years. And then last year, I was just like, I want to scale my efforts. And so I hired 6 people. And strategically, I hired educators. And we've been rolling since. So we have people here in America, in New Zealand, and in Nigeria. And then hopefully I'll be hiring some students from California in January, because once again, that workforce development piece, I want to hire students next. So I hired the teachers already. Now next is the students.
And the good thing is too, right? I kind of talk to my teachers when I work at Dayton High School. Get more TikTok and aesthetic learning, right? I'm seeing the kids work with their hands and they involved, and they're not just sitting at a desk watching you at a board, right? And having their mind somewhere else, they're actually physically participating in the learning.
Yeah, that's the easiest way to learn.
Yes.
How? I mean, I can show them from a board 1,000 times, and they still gonna have questions. But days like today, especially, the final day, it's let's get it together. I did my job. We were here for 8 weeks, right? I need you to create your app, and I need you to be ready to produce it in a 4-minute pitch, as if I was a corporate company. If you wanted me to invest in your app, show me that I should invest in your app.
Y'all ready? Yes. You have just stepped into the world of